Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we got another customer. I know I don't record often for you guys, but today we have another customer with a Ford E-250. Complaining his engine is shaking and he hasn't done a tune-up in a while. So I scanned it and we got a coil that is bad. So I already took this centerpiece. You have like little clips here and right here on the side. Then you take the center out. So then you got the engine. Now this over here are the coils. When you take those out, underneath of it is spark plugs. So we gotta change all of the coils and all the spark plugs. Why you want to do this is because if you've never done it, basically the coils they don't fire as it should, and the spark plug usually the gap on it gets bigger, and you got less efficient, not enough power. The consumption of fuel is just way more. So when you put motorcraft, always on 4. Hey.
Just a little so
Oh, okay. No problem. You're good. When on 4, you always put a motorcraft spark plugs and coils, just because that's what 4 uses, and that's where the car performs the best. Anything other than that, it's a no-go. So over here you can see water there, so that means that the manifold, they're all plastic, so most likely in the front where the bridge is, where the alternator is, it's leaking. So that's where the issue is going to be. So for now, we're just going to do the coils, and we're going to want to mention that to the customer. Sorry guys, so to do this, we got most of these clips, they all tend to break. You can see these little clips here, the nipple there, they all get fried out, and most of them they tend to break. I usually like to get the injectors off as well, the plugs on them, just so that they're not in the way. And you got one far down there. I'll probably take that from the front. See, you gotta use, you can see it there, that bolt right there, that holds the coils in place. It's like a 7mm. So if you can see this plug here, if it will focus, there we go. It lost a little clip. It's just because they get hot and they get fried. But anyways, I'm gonna take the intake manifold off by this clamp here, and then on the front we got some other clamps that we'll be taking off, so we can take that out of the way and we can have a better view of the front end of the engine. That way we gotta do some of the coils. Alright, so I'll keep you guys posted. Alright guys, so I'm over here in the front of the car now. We got this little plastic cover. The older models don't have this plastic cover, it just has the bolts. But here you got these little plastic clips, screw on plastic. So you take those out and this fall off. And now we show all the bolts for the radiator and all that stuff. So obviously we're going to be taking this part off after we basically, when we're taking it off here, taking all these 4 bolts here. If I'm not mistaken, these ones are just a slide off, so we just gotta open it up a little bit and it's supposed to slide off, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm pretty sure we got a sensor back here that we're gonna have to unhook to be able to, that's the manifold sensor. I usually don't unclip it from here, because every time you unclip the filter, sometimes it's a pain in the neck to get it back on again, so I usually don't. So let me take these guys off and I'll show you guys the next step. Alright guys, so this is what I was telling you about. The 2 bolts here, took that off. This one you just loosen it up a little bit so you can slide it off. And then you got the sensor here, which is this wire here. on the back of it, it has a little clip that you push down so it will release. So we get this filter in the master full sensor out of the way. Okay, now we got this section here. This section I already took this little pin off. You're supposed to just pull it up and pull. And then now I'm going to be taking this one. I thought about taking this one, but that's a little bit farther down the road. But actually, yeah, I might just take this one off, and then the whole thing just comes off and it's out of the way for good. As if you can see here, we got a cylinder there. We got a cylinder on this side here, right underneath all this piping. So yeah, I'm gonna really look into that and then see if we can trace down that water leak as well. But for now, this is what we got. All right, I'll get you back on in a second. All right, so now you can see I took that off. So it's sitting right over here. Now we got all 4 coils on this side showing. We just gotta take the bolts off them, unplug them, and I'll show you guys the trick down the road. But for now, we gotta do that, and we gotta take this ones off. We might have to unplug this sensor here. I don't know if you can see. I have to unplug this sensor here because there's one coil right underneath of that one. If not, we just gotta use the swivel. But see what we can do here. So yeah, looks like the belt is not in the best shape either. But well, let's do one thing at a time. So let's get those coils off, and I'll get back to you in a second. Alright guys, so now we're back on the inside of the truck. We're trying to get these coils on this side. I had to remove that sensor because it's sitting right on top of the bolt for the coil. So what I had to do is, the sensor is in a fuel pressure regulator or a fuel pressure sensor. It has 2 bolts, 210 bolts, and then it has a plug. You unplug it, you take the 2 bolts out, and you kind of wiggle it a little bit so you don't damage the sensor or the ring. And then you got this hose here that plugs there. Take that out of the way, and then you can remove that coil. Now I'm going to go for the very first one. It might be just easier going from the front on that one, and then we're going to jump onto this side and see what we can do on this side, and then I'll show you guys the trick later. Alright guys, so now we're at the point for me to show you the little trick that I usually do on these 4s, because they are known for cracking the spark plugs. So especially they haven't been changed in a while. There we go. UV blaster. Go into each hole. I don't know if you can see that there. Let me see. Go into each hole and fill it up. Fill it up and let it sit for a minute. You're gonna let it sit, each one of them. I already did this side. As soon as I took them off, I kept on filling it. Now we're doing this side, so that means that I'm gonna start off taking this ones off, and then we're gonna do this side. That way we're not we're giving it some time for it to settle and for it to actually work. Yeah, that's what we're working with. So I'll keep you guys posted as soon as I take this off and I'll put the new ones in. Alright guys, so I already took the first plug out, very back one here. If you can see here, the gap difference. This is a new plug, this is the old one. You can see how much it was already eaten through. So this is a new one that is going to go in right now. So yeah, it's a big difference. So let me keep on taking those off and I'll show you guys in a little bit. Alright, keep you posted. Alright guys, so finally we got all the plugs out. That's what they look like. We got all new plugs in. Now we're gonna put the coils back on, and you gotta reverse the process. I usually put everything back on so nothing leaks. Obviously we got injector coils off, and we got injectors plugs are off, coils are off, we got the fuel sensor off, we got the map sensor as well. So we're gonna put everything that we can so we can turn over the engine. That way that the excess liquid that went in, we can spit it out, and everything should be fine once we start to fire up. So here we go. Let's put some of the stuff back in, and then last step will be plugging things in. Alright, keep you posted. Alright guys, so I already turned the engine over with the coils unplugged and the injectors unplugged, so we can get some of the PB blaster that fell in out of the system. We did that, plugged everything back in. The only thing that I haven't plugged in is the master flow sensor, which, you know, I still gotta do that, but just wanna start it up for you guys so you guys can see. So that's that. I still gotta bolt on the front end, and I'm gonna let it run for a little bit so I can see if I could track down that water leak that's going on back here. So we might just need a manifold, intake manifold. So I'll let the customer know, but I want to run it and get it warm up to see if it's actually just leaking from this corner here. And if it's just leaking from this corner, then we're out of luck. But let me put the bolt on everything up front, make sure that everything is clicking. That way all I have to do after letting it warm up is just put the cover back on, and that's it. So alright guys, like always, share, like, subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully I'll make that happen, and then you know, it's like a goal. Once I get that bridge, I guess, you know, it'll be easier to start growing. And hopefully, you know, today I don't have my employee with me. I had to work today by myself, but trying to grow a little bit at a time. And you know, it's hard, and it's almost Christmas time and New Year's, so everything is changing a little bit. But yeah, still got work to do. Still got, you know, jobs every day. I just don't record every day because, you know, I'm always just working, or the employee is working and I'm doing another thing. So, but yeah, definitely I gotta put more time into recording and adding some videos for you guys to see. That way you guys can know how to get it done, and it saves you guys, you know, a few bucks here and there. But yeah, like this now I gotta erase the code. So some people, they don't have the scanner to erase the codes, because as soon as you open the ignition, you know, the computer's gonna read that it doesn't have injectors, it doesn't have spark plugs, coils, master flow. So you gotta reset all that stuff before you know, you're giving it back to the customer. But for now, this is what it is. Coils and plugs on a 5407 E-250. And yeah guys, catch you guys on the next one. Keep safe, and yeah, share, like, subscribe, help me help you, and we'll keep on pushing. Bye guys, later.